What thing ruined your childhood more than anything? My twin sister. I found out she secretly has hated me our whole life and had tried to boycott my social life among other things. Nothing ruins your childhood quite like not knowing if anything that happened was a lie or not. I thought we were best friends. Tell me the whole story. Sounds really interesting. Twins fascinate me. I always wished I had one. But evil twins are a whole other level. Well, it started going downhill when we were about 17, I think. She was being incredibly rude in a group chat, so I temporarily kicked her out before she could say some really hurtful and damaging stuff, and so she could cool down. Apparently she saw that as a personal attack or something because she refused to be added back and then kinda started ignoring us for months. I didn't even know there was something wrong. I only found out because a friend said something about an Instagram post I hadn't seen. That's how I found out that she had apparently blocked me months ago instead of coming to me and talking things out. In the end I had to literally block her in her room so we could talk about WTF was going on because I had no idea what the problem was. That's when she told me that she had tried to push me out of our friend group, for example. She would invite everyone but me to hang out together and had been gossiping about me to mutual friends behind my back, especially if they looked up to me and stuff like that. She has also started dating 3 different crushes of mine after I told her I liked them. I was always more socially awkward than her. So I could never win from her. Also, I don't ever want to put someone in a situation where they have to choose between 2 sisters. That's beeped. I ceased contact with her when I started to realize all the other tiny things she did during our lives. For example, every time there were animals involved, I was the only one who wasn't allowed to pet or hold it. She never let me join her and my siblings to play. She used to call me ugly. Tell me I have no friends. That no one likes me. Etc. I honestly don't know where that behavior came from. Because it's been happening since we were very little. My other siblings didn't behave like that. So I really don't think it's taught behavior. I genuinely considered us very close friends. Because we had very good times too. I'm in therapy now not only for this. My whole life is pretty beeped LMAO and I haven't talked it out with her yet. But I don't know if I can ever forgive her for all the speep she put me through and all the doubt I now constantly live with. Bullies. I was bullied in the 3rd grade. And I still have trust issues and social anxiety. I honestly hated it when people said, "Just ignore them." Or "It's okay. They're just teasing you." Because my bullies used to be my best friends and everyone knew we got along well. And to have one of your friends backstab you in front of your entire class just scarred me for the rest of my life. I'm one of her acquaintances right now. Not because I trust her. But because I hated it when my friends and family hated on her. I didn't want to hate anyone for the rest of my life. Forgive and forget. P.S. When I said acquaintance, I meant that we don't talk to each other unless absolutely required. Which is only in dance class LOL. You should have knocked her out on her arse. If you take speep off people, they'll keep it coming. I wouldn't give anyone the time of day. Not only if they tried. And I repeat tried. To disrespect me. Or I saw them bullying others. Knock her out cold. Stop bottling it up. People like her only carry on unless they're dealt a taste of their own speep. Send her my way. My mother's extreme bipolar swings. That speep sucked. One day she got mad cause I did not take a random cup I left on the table. Mine liked to practice psychological torture techniques. One of the things she did was let us get to sleep then barge in the room throwing blankets off screaming bloody murder about what she was mad at. She's do that for about 30 minutes. Leave long enough for use to get back to sleep then come right back and screaming repeating the process. She'd repeat that maybe 4 times a night when she had that particular fancy. Sexual assault. And the depression/anxiety that I got from it. Sorry you had to go through that. I've recovered well from it. It definitely wasn't fun, but I am definitely getting the right mindset to deal with it now. Domestic violence and more domestic violence. And now my father doesn't want to be held accountable for it. We had a maid like that before. Growing up. R/technically the truth. Finding mom dead from suicide after her boyfriend broke up with her really put a damper on things. Now this is worse than what I read so far. You good now? It's made me who I am. I'm a pretty positive person. But I got some deep anger I avoid by killing it with kindness. Alcoholic single mother. The dad? Never met him. Abusive. Toxic family combined with either having no friends in elementary school or being bullied pretty badly from middle school until basically the end of high school. Nothing ruins a childhood more than being bullied at school. And then coming home just to get bullied even more. Plus, this was when Facebook was first starting to become a thing, so I'd often be cyberbullied too. It's sad that even your family doesn't support you. They went so far as to blame me for allowing myself to get bullied, so I haven't told them about the more serious things that have happened to me. The fact Santa was never real. And my parents lied. I will never be the same. Brew, we all went past that, but I feel the pain that ruins the magic. Time. My parents. Bullies and a drug-addicted sister who was always running away from home. She still a drug addict? Bipolar mom. If you know. You know. Undefined. And my mom kinda of the same type, and every little detail she does not like can make her angry easily, and she will lecture me for hours. Bro, you just live with it. Living in the faith of Jehovah's Witnesses and realizing while growing up that this is one big fake, that faith. Parents. Moving all the time. Bullies. Thank God for reading. I hate bullies. Alcoholic dad. I even went into a children's home. Damn. Alcoholism. Being regularly sexually assaulted between age 5 to 14 really kind of killed my childhood. Getting made fun of by not just kids my own age but also teachers and relatives. I was a bit of a weird kid. But I never understood why everyone laughed at me for liking girls' toys or playing in dresses. I was just doing what made me happy. I spent most of my teenage years really shy because I'd become too used to people looking at me weird or laughing at me whenever I said or did anything. It's only now I'm in my 20s I'm starting to not care what people think about me. My dad. Being land poor. My mom would beg my dad to sell some land. Or a condo he had in freaking Hawaii that he somehow scored while in the Navy. Or a farm in upstate New York. Nothing doing. So we were always broke. Which sucked. Because on paper we were far more wealthy than the so-called rich kids who used to tease my sister and I. Goodwill clothing. Second-hand shoes. Is everything fine now? It is beyond fine. Which is great for my kids and my niece. But they are lazy. I was sexually abused between the ages of 7 to 14 by a neighbor. I didn't tell mom because I wasn't supposed to bother/worry her while she was going through treatment for and then getting re-diagnosed with cancer. Oh my God, that's terrible, I'm so sorry. My mom. Therapists/psychiatrists and medication. If we were younger we would all say social media. Homeschooling. I can't keep up. Epilepsy. Aging. My parents got into a fight and a couple months later Dad just abandoned us. Getting sucked into radfem theory when I was a young teen. TLDR. Left screwed up sense of self, sexuality, and sex that I had to work through and cope with. Growing up. My dad. So as a child elementary my mom would hide me and my sister's iPads from time to time. On this particular day we had a babysitter. So I took advantage of this to search for my iPad. I ended up finding my Christmas elf in a small box in my mom's closet and I haven't been the same since. Being bullied. And being blamed for being bullied as though it was my fault. Along with being strangled until I blacked out twice by my father. My parents separated in 2004 when I was 5. Which was fine. But then my mom remarried a rich pedophile in 2006 and when that didn't work out, she left him in 2009. Spent a couple years alone. And then found a new guy and married him in 2011. My current stepdad is a fine person but my mom's family didn't know him yet and were hesitant to welcome a new guy into the family. So she cut them all off. My favorite grandma. Favorite aunt. Favorite uncle. All my cousins. Including the babies. When I was little, my grandma told me that as the oldest granddaughter, it was my job to keep all the cousins together. And I took that role very seriously and I still do. Thankfully. My grandma is still alive and we meet in secret to catch up and cry over what's happened. But I used to see her several times a week and now I see her once or twice a year. More than that. And it just becomes too difficult for me to get along with my mom because I get so angry with her out of nowhere. I still hope my mom will come around. What will other people think? From my parents. Still affects my thinking even though who gives a speep what they think. Being raised by parents who behaved like teens and I had to be their parent and the grown-up. PTSD. And depression therapy for life. My parents. A speepty parent who made it clear my sibling was the favorite. I spent many years trying to win their love and attention and never got it. Now they're sad that I don't have any kind of relationship with them. Being overweight. That speep doesn't make you feel like the main character. Know what I'm saying? Exams. Social isolation and homelessness. Although the homelessness was more a mid to late teen thing. A stutter. Alcoholic drug abuse dad.